all across this nation, all across the world, you see demonstrators saying, "Free Palestine." You see it on the streets of every city and some towns in Canada. And many of the people saying that have no idea what's going on. That's been proven. So, Dan McTeague knows politics. He's here to join me right now because I want to put the question to you. It's a difficult question, but why, first of all, are so many Canadians, or are they imports, who are talking about this issue and talking from a level of ignorance? They don't know what's going on.
I think it's very well organized. I give kudos to those who have been working hard. It's very much the left, very much union, and it is very much, I think, a reflection of a generation that has now found another issue to latch on. It used to be climate. Before that, it might have been other...
Is it the generation of victimhood? People are saying, oh, we are victims and we're out there protesting?
Generation of ignorance, the eclipsing of reason. And I think that's because people don't take into account how important and how vexed that issue has been. October 7th should have been a decisive moment, a decisive moment. It seems to be forgotten. And on that, legitimizing the idea that we can simply, when you're calling for elimination of everything between the river and the sea, you're basically saying wipe out Israel.
Well, that's right. But I mean, to most of the protesters, they say, well, fine, wipe out Israel because there are however many billion Muslims in the world.
Yeah.
And there are 20 million Jews. So you go with the majority. I mean, it's crass, but I mean, I've heard it explained like that. Just get rid of them.
Except that within the very diverse Islamic world, you're seeing changes. Saudi Arabia wants to normalize relations with Saudi Arabia, with Israel. You see that the near death or the takeout of the Prince of Saudi Arabia the other day by those groups within there that don't want that to happen. Look, I don't think we can make this an issue of pointing out one particular side is right, the other side is wrong.
Correct.
In this case, however, Canada has always taken very decisively a role that says, in this circumstance, Israel's very much within its rights.
Let's just pick up on that, because the Liberal Party and the government is always supportive of Israel. It's the only democracy in the Middle East.
Yep.
And it has respect for freedoms and rights. And now the Liberal Party, and it's quite, the government is supporting Palestine, Hamas.
It shocks me.
Is it just numbers?
It's
voters?
Well, of course it is. It's diaspora politics. But if you think you're going to win people over by that, there's 3 or 4 other parties competing for the same vote. I'm sure the NDP, wearing cafes, are trying to basically outflank the Liberals on this one. I think we need to be very clear in terms of our position. This is our understanding of what has happened. Israel has the right to defend itself. Anybody who deviates from that basically has to recall what you and I will recall, what happened in the 1940s. Yeah. Because I'm not going to let that happen. I don't think any decent Canadian should, nor should the Liberal Party or its members.
So look, we know the Liberal Party has sold out in trying to get re-election. That's for sure. We've only got 10 seconds left. I think that, is it something that Canadians should sort of pull back on and study as opposed to being out there in the streets?
Look before we leap. It's a very dangerous prod.
Good advice. Dan McTeague, thank you very much. 3 minutes. This show provides independent analysis of the issues. We are not paid by the government. And as I am finding, so much business in Canada relies upon various governments that they don't want to sponsor or advertise on a show which may become controversial, which talks about liberty, freedoms, sometimes criticizes government. I've had guests on that support the government. But people are saying, you know what? We don't want to bite the hand that feeds us, i.e. government, which is why I hope you'll subscribe and contribute to keep this show on the air.